Hey there, I'm Garrin Benfield from San Francisco and Brooklyn, alternately, and here to talk about my guitars and some of my gear and how I use it all. Starting out with the Martin D41 with a Sunrise soundhole pickup, which is then going into the Sunrise external preamp, and then running into all my effects and out to these amps here. Essentially, the signal chain is running into the board into a volume pedal because I have no volume control on this guitar. It doesn't have any built-in electronics. And then to a tuner, which I have on the function which mutes it when I'm tuning. Then into a phaser. I guess as I go along, I'll just sort of play a little bit of the tone of the guitar naturally, and then with the effects. So here's the guitar, and this is the phaser. Sort of gives it a nice swirly sound, and also boosts the volume too, which is cool when you're soloing over some loops, which I'll explain in a minute. Then I have an octave pedal, so again, here's the guitar without the effect. And then with the octave. So funky, just boosts the low end when I'm trying to do some bass line stuff. And then a tremolo pedal, so natural guitar. And with the tremolo. And this tremolo pedal is modified so that I can adjust the overall volume of it, because a lot of times with tremolos, I've found in the context of when there's other music going on, you hit the tremolo, you do get this vibrato thing, but you get a drop in gain. So I had it modified so I can get a little more signal. And then an EQ pedal, which it's a very basic idea, but something I'm sort of proud of. I was laying awake in bed one night trying to figure out how to generate bass drum sounds in my loops, and I just said, oh yeah, get an EQ pedal, and I drop out all the high end on it. So that's without it, and then with it, so I can generate some nice bass, and also for bass lines. So that's that. Then I got a digital delay, which I use a lot to create atmosphere, to sort of expand the sound of when I'm soloing, and it's hooked up to a tap tempo, which I really don't know how people use delay pedals without a tap in the past, but just to me it's just really important to have it right in the pocket. So here's the guitar, and then with the delay. And just tap it to get it right in time with whatever I'm playing. And then a tube screamer for the lead guitar stuff. And so all of those effects are pre-looper. I am using the Boss RC-20XL looper, which is nice and compact. It fits really well into my board. It's not a large unit. The XL is different from the unit. A lot of people know the RC-20 in that a couple years ago they just added a -1 function, so that if you mess something up in your looping, you can erase one layer. So I'm going through a variety of effects that all lead into the loop pedal. And I've been doing this for several years with the looper. When I first got it, it basically sat in the box in my bedroom for a couple months. I was basically very frightened to try and figure out how to use it. Once you get the hang of it, it's really simple. It does require a good sense of rhythm and timing. It does have a quantizing function, so if you are slightly off in triggering the pedal, it will, within reason, it'll try to correct or assume where you want it to go. But before I get too far ahead of myself, this is the pedal here, and I keep it on what's called the auto start function. So I just sort of engage the pedal by pressing the left button, and then it's ready to start recording. And then when you're ready for it to start repeating what you played, you just press the button again. So to give you an example. Sky's the limit on what you want to do. But to start recording another layer, I press the button again. We got layer number 2. So there's 2 layers. One thing I've found, particularly in live performance with this, is that sometimes less is more. The more layers you add, it can get really cluttered really fast. So already that's getting fairly dense for just a 2-bar phrase or whatever that was. So that's sort of that, and then I'll show you. I'll add a couple more things to give you an idea of what I do here. So here's our existing loop. I'll add a bass line on there. Idea of how that would expand the possibilities as a solo performer, which is what I do 90% of the time. I can play one of my tunes basically acoustic, and then at the end sort of develop a jam which might segue into another song, or I might do a totally standalone kind of loop improvisation. Out of the looper I'm running into this amp here which has an external speaker, and I do find it's regardless of whether you're looping or not, it's nice to have control over your own tone and your own volume on stage. Not that you want to go to war with the sound engineer, but it's just nice to have some control. Yeah, basically, just going straight into the amp. Most of the knobs are straight up at 12 o'clock. And I got some reverb on there. Give a little atmosphere. Okay, so I'm going to do a little jam that I sometimes end my shows with, and give you an idea. I'm going to set up some guitar stuff, and then develop a beat and a bass line, and then take it from there and see where it goes. I call this Give Peace a Loop.